Hey guys, so I wanted to make this video, and first off I'm gonna start off by saying this is a disclaimer about what I'm gonna be talking about. I don't mean to put anyone down if you go through this or have gone through it, or I don't mean this directly to anyone, and this is with good intentions that I am making this video. So I just want to lay that out there, that this, it's with good intentions, and it's just how I see things, what I've learned going through it myself. So with that being said, today's topic has to do with addiction and depression, like self-harm, and all of that, and how I feel that how people glorify it, and it just seems like to be a real issue that I've noticed, and this has been going on for a long fucking time. And honestly, this topic kind of makes me upset. So I'm sorry if I talk slow or I stutter a little bit in this. It's a lot of feeling behind this, and yeah. So now I understand, everyone goes through their own thing. They struggle with different things, right? Whether it be eating disorders or self-harming or addiction with drugs and, alcohol, gambling, whatever, you know, like, I understand we all go through shit, because I personally have struggled with drug and alcohol addiction and self-harming. And, I'm not really gonna go into details on that, and I'd prefer to keep a lot of past experiences and everything that I went through to myself, or share it with very few trusted people that I know in person. But anyways, let me get comfortable. Okay. I see it all the time on social media, and it's a lot of people that they just kind of post about, oh, I'm so depressed, or oh my god, I want to kill myself, or this is too much, or they post about them taking drugs, them drinking a lot, or just some people I've even noticed posting about oh, I'm emotionally unavailable, I'm detached or whatever, or I'm not this way because of my trauma. Now, listen, I understand, okay, I understand people go through shit. Really, I understand. I'm not gonna go into details about what I've been through or even mention it, but let's just say that I get it. And I get that may lead to you doing things to escape your reality or to numb things. And I want to tell you that that's just going to make it worse. And not only is it very unhealthy for you, it not only affects you, it puts you in not so good situations where things could happen to you, guy or female. You have no control. You have no control over yourself. And it doesn't just affect you, okay? It affects other people too. So friends, you know what I mean, that they see you go through that, it affects them too. It affects family, not only emotionally, but financially. It could be financially. And it's not something I like to see being glorified, because it is an issue. And honestly, if you're going through that, I recommend getting help, because I mean, you deserve to be here, and you really just gotta find what works for you and what heals you. And this whole thing about even with music, a lot of people fucking glorify like popping Xans and shit. And I know a lot of you kind of disagree with me on this, but you know, smoking weed, I'm perfectly like, I smoke weed every now and then. Like it's not too big of a deal. But what the thing is, if you use it, it's your intentions behind your usage. So if you use it every day and to kind of cope with what's going on, that's, you're having a mental addiction. Not so much physical, because you physically technically can't get addicted to weed, but definitely you can grow a codependency on, you know, anything that you can use to cope. So really, I think it's just about finding healthy coping habits and coping skills that, you know, that help you, because at the end of the day, that if it doesn't, it just numbs it, first of all, which is okay for the second, you know what I mean, or for the day that you're fucking zooted out of there. But eventually you keep on spiraling into this hole that it is very, very hard to come out of once you're in it. And I learned the very hard way, and honestly, I really even shouldn't even be here. And that being said alone, it kind of scares me, you know what I mean? Because if I would have continued going down the path that I was going down, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be talking to you guys about this. A lot of people may think that, oh, I'm kind of like overreacting, or I need to chill out on this shit, because I get very, very fucking passionate when I talk about this. Because not only have I gone through it myself, but I have had family and shit go through all this. And it tears families apart, especially if you are a parent. I have no means, like, I don't have a kid, right? So, but this is just coming from my perspective. I wouldn't want them to be around that. I would want them to have better than what I witnessed. And I want them to, you know, be successful, and I want them to see what a healthy environment is, and how you handle things in a different way versus what is so commonly you know, used. And I mean, you see like young people, like I've known people that were like 13 or maybe a little bit younger getting into this shit, and it's sad. And honest to God, it makes me upset that people just think it's okay to just make it just seem like it's just this thing that should be okay and you should do, and you should, no, it's not okay. And it takes so much from someone. And I think really what we need to do is we need to stop taking shit for granted. We really do, because whatever you have, that, even the small things, I mean, you know what I mean, you have to, there's just small things in life matter, and you wouldn't even think that it matters until it's gone. And I think we really just need to appreciate that, because everything could be taken away from us, and then by then sometimes it's too late. And I really want to mention this also, I just want to throw this in there regarding the topic. I have cut off a lot of people in my life, right? And I have completely started over on my social media, my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, yada yada, a while back. And one of the main reasons being that I had a lot of bad memories attached to those. And I found that it would help me and do me good to just let it go, like delete it. And that was a big a big move for me. Like it really did help. It gave me a sense of peace and everything. And I wanted to say that there's this quote, right? And I'm pretty sure most of you guys have heard this quote, but it's friends of a feather flock together. So I really didn't like believe in that quote whenever I was younger and people would tell me that. But now looking at it, it's really true, because even though you may not truly be like that, be that way, habits of other people will start rubbing off on you. So say you're hanging around people that likes to steal, or you're hanging around people that likes to cheat on their partner, you will eventually kind of grow into that. And you know, it's, you surround yourself with who you are. So if you do drugs and you know you're heavy into it, or you're going to jail all the time, a lot of times, often than not, you stay around those people because you can connect to them. And now what I do is I not only try to talk to people and create friendships where I can relate to them of my past, but I want them to relate to my present, to where I don't put up with lies, first off, with drama. You know, I'm a huge person of taking ownership and responsibility for what goes on into your life, especially if you are an adult, 18 and up. I am 19. So, I mean, you can use things as, I feel like some people are going to take this wrong, but you can only use things for so long as a crutch or an excuse, or, you know what I mean? Even if you're working on it, that's not what I'm talking about. That's a whole other thing. I'm not talking about that. If you're actually working on it and trying to do better. But if you are just using what you've been through or what problems you have, whether it be a disorder, or a mental illness. I have depression, anxiety, and ADHD. Okay, so, but you don't use that things like, oh, I have depression, so I'm not gonna do this because, oh my god, or I have anxiety, so I'm not gonna do this and not help myself. No. I understand it gets in the way of a lot of things, and I really do understand that, but you cannot let it control your life. It's simple as that, and it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of work to kind of find healthy coping skills or whatever, whether that be therapists or whatever. Therapists maybe use CBD oil. I'm kind of using that off and on. Or it'd be writing, reading, playing video games. I don't know, different hobbies. You know what I mean? But you don't just not do anything about it. That's the worst thing you can do. And the other worst thing you can do is just let yourself go. And like I said, this relates to drugs. You know what I mean? Just resort to that. And just kind of let yourself be consumed by it. So I think if you're going through this, I'm just gonna end this video right here with that. You know, the first step is in realizing that you do have a problem, and if you want it bad enough, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you will want to make another step to make effort to change. It doesn't have to be big major steps, but you know, baby steps are key. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like a fucking leap forward, but I think being sober or talking about things or just doing something different in your life, I think that can really add to it, and it can really help you out. I'm not a therapist, so I can't say this and this will help you automatically, because it's different for everyone. But yeah, so that's basically today's video. I hope some of y'all can relate. I hope I gave some of y'all at least a different perspective on how to look at things. But that's just what I've noticed off of, you know, social media and being on. I just see so much of it, and it's really sad and it's upsetting how much of it I see, and a lot of it being older people. So anyways, hope this helped out someone, and I don't know, give it a thumbs up if you really enjoyed this, and please comment if you have anything to say or you want to add on to it or have a conversation in the comments. Please do so. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thanks, guys.